Well, I grew up in a church-going home, but I was deaf to the gospel personal salvation message while there. And then I went off to college in California and to a university there. And the InterVarsity chapter became interested in me through some relationships. And I started attending a small group Bible study with that, and a very wonderful man named Al Anderson, who's gone on to be a lifetime InterVarsity worker, was in my dorm and took an interest in me. And through a series of, I guess you would call them relative failures, the girl I thought I loved didn't love me, and I had a serious sports injury, and I didn't perform as well as I was accustomed to performing up to that point. I got a B, heaven forbid, kind of thing. And I went from one of probably the most self-centered people in the world that I could ever imagine meeting to realizing that I would like a higher power in my life. And fortunately, InterVarsity and these wonderful believers were there to introduce me to Jesus as a personal savior and not just a figure. I can go back to my home church now in Iowa and hear the gospel, but it was one of those things where I guess I was just deaf until the Lord opened my ears. Photography has been very important to me in the past, music, playing, listening, but really now, if I get the chance to have free time, I like to be outdoors. I've just taken up golf in the last 3 years, which I'm not sure is leisure yet due to the frustration element, but I love to hike. I've done a lot of camping, and I guess most recently, being outdoors, I just am drawn to trees, and I nurture trees. I find just the other day, I dug up a chinkapin oak sapling in my yard, potted it, and I have over 26 native species trees in my yard in Forest Hills, most of which I've planted. A few were there when I got there. And I nurture them, and I go out and I talk to them, and I take care of them, and I prune them, and it's just a very special time with the Lord to be outdoors in my small property. I'm an urban tree farmer. The diversity of the people. Belmont is so diverse in the people who have come together with passions for so many things, and yet they're united by such a single-minded focus of the Lordship of Jesus and the centrality of our faith. And people are so passionate about their faith, and it's just, their hearts are after the Lord. That's what I love about Belmont. Well, obviously, in everyone's life, life will throw you curveballs. I don't think God throws us curveballs. Stressful times will come, and I was a relatively new believer when I went to medical school, which is a stressful time. I mean, a lot is expected of you. And so I was really living in Mark 6 and Luke 12, what I call the do not worry passages. Look to the birds, look to the grass, the flowers in the field. And the promises and admonitions contained in those passages have really been fuel for me during medical school, during hard times with family, just in general. And I think they're wonderful promises because His mercies are new every morning, and He promises us that every day we'll have sufficient grace, that we don't need to carry the stress and worry of that He's right there with us. So those passages have been very meaningful to me.